Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 13.23. The chapter which we are related with is leverage and capital structure, managerial finance by Gitman. Actually, we are at the stage where we are conceptual discussion is more important than that of numerical part of questions. Here in last question, you have seen that theoretical portion was prominent. We haven't performed any calculative part of this chapter. Few calculations were made. Only a part of previous question was including EPS, and remaining part was for graphs and for conclusions and for rules. Similarly, in this question 13.23, we are actually doing the same thing. 13.23, not very much numerical portion is involved in it. We are basically involved in theoretical portion where some conclusion would be made, some concepts would be elaborated over here, relationship between EBIT and EPS. EBIT, earning before interest and tax, and earning per shares, their coordinates, their attributes, and their relationship would be discussed through graph and through statements. Alright guys, you can see this question. We have again EBIT and EPS relationship, and the only difference in this question and question number 22 is now we have preferred stock included in the statement. Again, we will be constructing attributes for EBIT and EPS. There are two structures, and two structures were present in previous question as well. It is suggested to view previous lecture as well. Here we are going to make our statement, that is income statement, and income statement for structure A and for structure B we will make. Okay, please read down this. By selecting any two EBIT, again we have to decide or suppose EBITs by ourselves. So here why not we should suggest it just to suppose. I have supposed 30,000 and 50,000. Two EBITs, 30,000 and 50,000 would be supposed over here. So first income statement we are going to construct with EBIT as 30,000. Okay, instead of this, these are income statements, and we will suppose over here. Let's make a position so that we can use this space for both 30,000 and 50,000. So here EBIT is 30,000 and number of shares mentioned over here, common stock, is 8,000 shares. So this is our first income statement. Let's highlight it so that we should know what we are doing over here. So first income statement would be made over here, and second income statement would be made over here. Let's do it at once for better view. Here you will also be making another income statement. The only difference which would you make would be EBIT, and here second EBIT which we have supposed would be 50,000. So 30,000 and 50,000 with 8,000 shares. Let's highlight it as well. So guys, do you understand what we are going to do? It was asked to select any two EBITs, 30,000 and 50,000. It is suppose, whatever you do like, you can suppose it. But since these EPS are calculated on the basis of 30,000, 50,000, that is why I am doing this. But you are very open. You can take 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 60,000, 80,000, 8 lakh, whatever would you want, you can take it. 8,000 shares are given in the question. 8,000 shares for structure A. So this is two income statement for structure A, and similarly we will be making two income statement for structure B as well. So this is for structure A. How do we make income statement? We start with EBIT and then we will subtract our interest, after which tax would be subtracted. Then we will subtract preferred dividend, with which we'll have net earning or earning available for common shareholders. So in this way you will complete your income statement. Let's wrap it up so that it could be visible. So net earning available for common shareholders, why it has not been wrapped? Okay, let's merge it. Visibility is very important, so that is why if it is taking time, let's make it possible. So we have net earning available for common shareholders. Now we do have space instead of abbreviation. Common shareholders. EBIT was supposed over here 30,000, and we are now going to see interest come over here. Long term debt is 75,000 and 16% is rate. So what you will do, you will be taking 75,000 and then just multiply it with 15%. We will get our interest. Statement was completed. Now we can calculate. So in this way we have got our amount of interest, that is 11,250. At this stage we can calculate our income after interest. So here earning after interest but before tax would be calculated. Little more space is needed, let's make it. So earning after tax but after interest before tax. How do we calculate? By subtracting interest from EBIT. Amount of interest is 11,250, EBIT 30,000, take it and subtract amount of interest. We have got our income after interest. Now we will be calculating our tax, for which rate should be 40%. Let's see. Yes, assume 40% tax rate. Here you will calculate your tax. Previous income is needed 18,750 and you will multiply it with 40 divided by 100. Please note it down. In this way you will calculate your tax, after which we are open to calculate income after tax by subtracting tax from previous income. 18750 was previous income, amount of tax was 7,500. So in this way you can calculate your earning after interest after tax. In this question there is special entry of preferred dividend. This is your preferred stock, 10,000 total amount of preferred stock, 18% is dividend. So here you can calculate it. How much? 10,000 and 18%. 10,000 was stock and you will calculate 18 divided by 100. So we have got our preferred dividend as well. Now you can calculate your net earning available by subtracting Okay, this is not good thing. Space is needed over here, so we are extracting this and putting over here. Not coming. Okay, for the time being we are taking over here, and I will do it later on. So preferred dividend was 1800, after which we can calculate our earning available to common shareholders by subtracting preferred dividend from previous earning. 11,250 was previous earning, and you will subtract 1800. It was your preferred dividend. So we have got our income 9450. This was the net earning available for common shareholders. It's time to observe how did we calculate it, and you will come to know that amount. Let me see it again. Amount of interest was 75,000, 16%. Okay, this was 16%. Sometime it happens. So we have got our income. How did we calculate? EBIT, subtract interest, and tax was calculated by putting 18,000, and now we have got our income 10,800. 1800 was dividend, and finally you will get your earning available 9,000. Please do understand, instead of 16% it was put like 15%, so within a single second it was seen and rectified. So finally earning available for common shareholder is 9,000, after which we can calculate our earning per share. Here this is an extra row, let it be deleted. So finally we have our income available for common shareholders. Here we will be calculating earning per share, and remind yourself, how do we calculate earning per share? For that we need to have earning available for common shareholders, and you will divide it with number of shares. In this way you can calculate your earning available for common shareholders. We need to have some space over here. Okay, we have got it. Earning available for common shareholder is 9,000, and you will divide it with number of shares, 8,000, already mentioned over here. In this way our statement has been completed, and now we can calculate 9,000 divided by 8,000. So 1.125, and look at here, this is your first answer, 1.125. We have got it. First EPS has been calculated. Let's mark it as it has been done. In the similar way, now come to this point. Here we are going to calculate our new income by putting EBIT as 50,000. Here you have put EBIT 30,000. For structure A was having 8,000 shares. Structure A is having 8,000 share here as well. So what you will do, you are going to take these headings as it is over here. This way we can complete. Everything over here would be changed. Our EBIT over here would be put 50,000. That's the difference. Since it was asked to suppose two EBITs by ourselves, so we have supposed it. 30,000 and 50,000. Now our calculation would be according to this. Amount of interest would be same as for structure A. These attributes would not be altered. So debt would be same 75,000, 16%. Here just calculate 16%. We have got our amount of interest. Now we can calculate income after interest by subtracting interest from EBIT. 50,000 was EBIT and we need to subtract amount of interest, which is 12,000. So in this way our income after interest has been calculated. Let's make little more space. More. Okay. Here we can calculate our tax, for which we need previous income. That was 38,000 and rate of tax is 40. You will calculate 40%. Amount of tax is calculated. Now we can calculate income after tax by subtracting tax from previous income. 38,000 was previous income and you need to subtract your tax 15,200. So we have got our income after tax. Now for preferred dividend, this statement would not be altered. Similarly, 10,000, 18% would be calculated. Total amount of preferred share 10,000 and you will take 18% of it to calculate preferred dividend. After this, we are open to calculate our net earning or earning available for common shareholders by subtracting preferred dividend from previous income. 22,800 is previous income and you will subtract 1,800, that was preferred shared dividend. So in this way we have got our income as 21,000, which is earning available for common shareholders. At this stage we are now open to calculate our earning per share, and let's calculate over here. Okay, little more space was needed, but it would work. Earning per share would be calculated by dividing earning available for common shareholders by number of shares. Earning available for common shareholders 21,000 is clear, but here number of shares are mentioned 8,000. Statement is completed. Now you can put it on your calculator. So we have got 2.625 and look over here, 2.625 is your second answer. It means our statement has been completed for second EPS as well. Let's mark it as it has been completed. Second EPS was calculated for structure A. Now you can see that there are two EBITs, 30,000 and 50,000 for structure A, and two EPS 1.125 and 2.625. So both EPS would be considered as attributes for making the graph. Now we will start making statements for structure B. Similarly, we will be doing everything like this. The only difference we will make, concentration would be dropped to structure B. Again, we will be making an income statement just like this. Earning per share in the similar way from here to here. Obviously, we are going to change it. Our EBIT would remain 30,000, but number of share for structure B would be seen here. Common stock is 10,000 shares. So here you will change it 10,000 shares. So everything would be altered from here. Interest would also be changed. Let's remove everything, and these statements would also be altered. So we have got our performa for structure B. The thing is, there were two EBITs 30,000 and 50,000 which were used for structure A. In the similar way, we will use 30,000 and 50,000 for structure B as well. Similarly, we are going to perform same function for structure B as well. So here we are going to take it. Now please understand, here EBIT second would be used and that was 50,000. So hopefully you understood. This was your structure A. You have calculated EBIT for 30 and 50. EBIT was 30 and 50. And now you are making income statement for structure B. Again EBIT 30,000 and 50,000. Since this was structure A, our number of shares were 8,000. Structure B, number of shares are 10,000. Let's start our calculation. 30,000 was your EBIT, while amount of interest would be calculated accordingly. This is your structure B. Debt is 50,000 and rate is 15%. Please remember it. We need to put 50,000 15%. Let's start 50. Last time instead of 50% it was written as, so rate was little different, 10%. I am hopeful. Interest amount is 15,000 15%. Again same had happened, 15% is the rate. So statement is completed. Now let's calculate. 15% we are needed to put 15,000 15%. This is amount of interest. Now we are open to calculate our earning after interest by subtracting interest from EBIT. 30,000 is your EBIT and then you will subtract amount of interest 7,500. So we have got earning after interest. Tax would be calculated. Rate is 40% and previous income is 22,500. To take 40%, multiply it with 40, divide it with 100. After calculation of tax, we are open to calculate earning after tax. Earning after tax by subtracting tax from previous income. 22,500 was previous income. Amount of tax is 9,000. So we have got our earning after tax. Preferred dividend. Look over here. Preferred stock is 15,000, 18%. So here you will calculate 15,000, 18%. For this 15,000, 18% would be calculated. Preferred dividend has been calculated as 2,700 and now we are open to calculate net earning for common shareholders by subtracting preferred dividend from previous income. 1,350 previous income, subtract amount of preferred dividend 2,700. So we have got our earning available for common shareholders and that is 10,800. After which earning per share would be calculated and it is also your EPS. Since EPS is mainly used in questions, so we should write it as EPS. Let's change it as well because we will be creating relationship between EBIT and EPS. Alright guys, earning available for common shareholders 10,800 and we need to divide it with number of shares. 10,000 is mentioned over here. Statement is completed. Now put it on your calculator. So we have got our answer 1.08 and look at this. Third answer is 1.08. So in this way our calculations completed. Third EPS we have calculated. Let's start our final and fourth income statement where we need to put our EBIT 50,000. Alright, amount of interest would be calculated according to statement. Structure B we are related with, and this is 50,000, 15%. Here you will calculate 50,000 and need to multiply with 15%. Statement is completed. Now let's put it on our calculator. So amount of interest is calculated. Earning after interest is available. How? By subtracting interest from EBIT. 50,000 was EBIT, amount of interest 7,500. We have got earning after interest. Now tax would be calculated. 40% is rate, for which we need previous income. 42,500 previous income. To calculate 40%, multiply by 40 divided by 100. Tax is here. Earning after tax now open by subtracting tax from previous earning. 42,500 was previous earning. Amount of tax is 17,000. We have got earning after tax 25,500. Here preferred dividend would be calculated. For structure B, 15,000 and 18% is needed to be calculated. So here 15,000 and multiply it with 18%. So we have got our preferred dividend. Now we can calculate net earning by subtracting preferred dividend from previous earning. 25500 previous earning and amount of dividend 2700. We have got earning after interest, after tax and after preferred dividend. This is also called earning available for common shareholders, and that is what 22,800, after which we are now open to calculate our earning per share. For that we need earning available for common shareholders 22,800. Here we will calculate our earning per share. 22,800 is your earning available for common shareholders, and you need to divide it with number of shares are mentioned 10,000. Statement is completed. Now we can put it on our calculator. 2.28. So look over here, we have got our fourth answer 2.28. In this way our income statements completed. 4 EPS are calculated. So this was calculate 2 EBIT EPS coordinates, and this is what we have calculated. Let's put them over here. What we have done, there were two structures. First structure A was taken, for which EBIT was mentioned and EPS was also calculated, and we are going to mention them at this stage. For structure A, when your EBIT was 30,000 and EBIT was 50,000. So these two EBITs were taken, for which EPS were calculated, and these were 1.125 for 125 for 30,000 and 2.625 for EBIT 50,000. And same we are going to do for structure B as well. Okay, now you can see for structure B, when EBIT was 30,000, EPS calculated 1.08, and when EBIT was supposed 50,000, EPS was calculated 2.28. So this is collectively we have determined for structure A and B. Collectively, everything is mentioned over here, EBIT, EPS for structure A and for structure B. After which we are now open to construct our graph. Here we will take y-axis and here we will take x-axis. X-axis line drawn, and now we will see y-axis has also been drawn. Here we will put our EPS, and at this you will write your EBITs. There you will put EBITs. Let's align them, and here EPS would be mentioned. Let's align it as well. So now you can see we have 30,000 and 50,000. From here you can start with 10,000, then 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 and 50,000. So in this way our EBITs can be presented over here. For EPS, minimum amount is 1.08, maximum amount is 2.28. So why not we should take 0.5, 0.5, then we have 1, then 1.5, 1 and 1.5, 2 and 2.5, then we have 3. Okay guys, in this way our statement can be completed. So for structure A, first we will start structure A and we will be posting inputs. For that we need a small circle. Let's take it, draw over here, make its size appropriate. So first point for structure A, 30,000 and 1.125. This is your 30,000 line over here, and we need to put 1.125. It would be in between 1 and 1.5, and we can put it over here, 1.125. Alright, this is our first point, and now we will seek for second point is what? 50,000. For 50,000, let's come to this line, and point is 2.625, and surprisingly it is exactly at 2.625. So guys, we have got our first structure A, which is blue, and now we'll join these 2 points. Let's take the line, and we have the line which is meeting both parameters. So here we have got the line, and what you will do, just mention it that blue structure is structure A. Let's change its color as well, just to make sure that you have better understanding. So guys, we have structure A completed, and now we are going to see, let's make this line little downward. Okay, it's all right. Structure B would be calculated now, for which 30,000 is needed. Now we need the points, and it may not be selected from here. No. So let's take our points from here. Again, a small circle is needed. Let's make the size, and we are going to make it red. just to make a little difference between structure A and B. For structure B, we need 30,000. This is 30,000 and next 1.08. Come down 1.08 would this would be just beside it, little up. Alright, first point we have got, and now we will see our second point. For 50,000 we need to put it at 2.28. This is 50,000 line and 2.28 would be just like this. So guys, we have our second line very close, and it's time to put our second line. Let's change its color. We need to make it red. This is for structure B. So first you will meet over here, and secondly this line would be, let me settle it first. Okay guys, so the shape is just like this. It is very congested, but it would work because we have changed the color. Red is for structure B, and blue is for structure A. I'm just going to settle down. So here we have our graph for structure A and structure B. For structure A we have blue and red is used. For structure B, let's change its color as well. We need to put it a red. So go back to the question, and requirement was to make two EBIT EBS coordinates, and here we have made coordinates by making four income statements and then graph two capital structure on same set. Two graphs were made. We have also completed, and now third part, C part, discuss leverage and risk associated with each structure. Okay, this would be discussed orally. You can see that for structure A we have 12,000 interest, and for structure B we have 75 interest. This is your point C. We are going to discuss amount of interest for structure A is equal to how much? This is structure A, amount of interest is 12,000. Just put it over here, after which we will make a conclusion. So interest for structure B, how much interest for structure B? 7,500. Let's put 7,500 over here. So you can make a very good conclusion over here. Since outside payment for structure A is more than outside payment of structure B, it means risk is associated with structure A more than that of structure B. Here it was required in the question. Part C we were solving, where risk associated was discussed. Over what range of EBIT is each structure paid. Let's go to the graph. You can see that red structure, which is B, is preferable before this crossing point. Over here, B is preferred, and here blue has better EPS. After this point, A is preferred. Please note it down. This is the point where both structures are joining each other. Before this point, red, that means structure B, was having better EPS due to better EPS. B is preferred. Please note it down. Here EPS was better. Red line is at above than that of blue line, which is showing that at this stage B was having better EPS. And now when you will come over here, blue is up, red is down. It means blue's EPS due to better earning per share, A would be preferred. So different stages. At initial stage B was better, and after changing your amount of EBIT, maybe after a single year or after some period when EBIT was increased from 30,000 to 50,000, so structure B was preferred over here. It means as structure A was preferred, as you will increase your EBIT, A would be preferred. In the similar way, please understand it again. Red structure, that means structure B, initially it was performing well. At EBIT 30,000, EPS for red was better, 1.08. From table you can check it out. At start, structure A was having 1.25. Okay, this was your point where both were joining. Over here you can see that your EPS for B was up. At this point, your blue structure was taking the first position, and when it was exactly 50,000, blue or A structure have got better EPS. So at start, just make this point as your central point. Before this, red is up. After this, red is down. Just using the childish game, without using your brain, you can see that red is up over here. Red was for structure B. It means structure B would be preferred because at this stage your EPS was better for structure B. And when your EBIT had reached to 50,000, red line had got the second position. Red had gone down. That means EPS has been dropped after that stage. When EPS was dropped, it means red should not be preferred, blue would be preferred. So this was the stage where at some stage B was good and a stage had come where A was preferred. So this is your D point that was discussed through graph. Let's go back to our E point. Which structure do you recommend if the firm expects its EBIT to 35,000? As it was discussed, this was your point number 30,000. After which you can see that the blue structure is continuously improving. Blue structure A is improving after 30,000. So we were supposed to make a statement for 30,000. So add 35,000 EBIT. Please note it down. This was 30,000 point after which blue was improving. So since 35,000 EBIT will show that blue structure had got First position at 35,000 EBIT. Here you will make your final statement for D point. But you will say at 35,000 EBIT, structure A blue would be preferred. So this is your E point discussed over here. Please note it down. This was the point where both were joining each other at 30,000. After this point, blue was in progress. Blue had got the first position and red had got the second position. So at 35,000, 40,000, 50,000 or 60,000 or whatever EBIT more than that of 30,000, blue would be preferred. But before this point, B would be preferred. Let's say if EBIT was 25,000, 20,000, 10,000 or 5,000, in all stages before 30,000 B was preferred, in all stages after 30,000 A would be preferred. So here at 35,000 EBIT structure A blue would be preferred. And now you can see that our D point and E point was discussed over here. In D point we have seen after 30,000 any EBIT point we will prefer A, and before this point any EBIT structure EPS B would structure B would be preferred. At point E you can see that they were saying 35,000 which is coming after 30,000. After 30,000 we have already decided that A would be preferred. Same answer is written over here, D and E. So guys, let's review our question. This was question has been completed. We have solved A, B, C, D, E. All parts have been discussed. For A part, we needed to calculate our attributes. 4 EPS were calculated here. For structure A, 2 income statements were made and 2 EPS were calculated, 1.1 and 2.6. 1.1 and 2.6. And then you have created 2 income statement for structure B. 2 EPS were calculated, 1 and 2.2, 1 and 2.2. In this way your first part was completed. Then you were asked to uh, make graph for these attributes. Attributes were written over here where two structure EBIT and EPS included, and you have made your graph. After that, it was asked to discuss leverage and risk associated. You can see that interest or outside payment for structure A was more than that of structure B. So more risk was associated with structure A. And then over what range EBIT is preferred, this was D point. Range was asked, and we have discussed starting range was for B and ending range was for structure A. D point was discussed, and then we have discussed what structure do you recommend if it expects EBIT 35,000. We have said that after this mean point where both structures were joining each other, after this point A would be preferred. So 35,000 is coming after this mean point. It means A structure would be preferred at 35,000 EBIT. So guys, question 13.23 is completed. We have reviewed it. Answers are matched. Solution is in front of you. Everything has been discussed and completed. But even then, I'm offering you solution is in front of you. But you are very open to ask your questions, your queries of anything you want to understand. Once again, you can put your queries through messages, text, or you can directly meet as well for getting solution of your queries. I will surely be available for answering your queries instantly. 13.23 is completed, and we will be meeting soon again for solution of any other question in future. Up till then, please take care of yourself, and I am requesting you to please pray for me as well. And our usual request, please solve this question for more than 3-4 times. This would make a better and strong understanding. 13.23 is completed. It's time to say goodbye. Thank you very much for your time. Allah Hafiz.